Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope your day and your week are going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I've got 4 NBA player props to go and share with you guys in tonight's NBA slate. But first, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did last night. Jump on over to GuyBostonSports.com. Now, we originally handed out 5 player props in yesterday's video. Unfortunately, both Nikola Jokic and Derek White failed to play last night, so those 2 picks get voided, stricken off the record. Of the 3 player props that did ultimately get graded, we went 2-1. CJ McCollum and Dorian Finney-Smith both cashed their player props. Cody Martin over 12.5 points, rebounds, assists. We missed by 1. He finished with exactly 12 points, rebounds, assists. If he makes one more shot, grabs one more rebound, we have ourselves a 3-0 night. But we're not going to get greedy here. Overall, it was a pretty decent night. Scroll down below here. We went 2-1 plus 0.80 units. We're now 89 and 77 on the year with our single bet player props, up 1.66 units on the season. Now, I know the units don't look great despite being 12 games over 500. The fact that we are only up of 1.66 units, we've taken some gambles throughout the year where we put 2 units or a unit and a half, and it's kind of bit us in the ass a little bit. But ultimately, we're having a really good year between parlays and single bets and whatnot. We are up over 6 units on the year so far. And at the end of the day, profit is profit. We're going to take it, and we're not going to complain about it. Of course, we'd like to have more profit, but we're going to get more profit. We got a long season still ahead. All right, guys, with that recap out of the way, let's dive into today's picks and one more announcement. Make sure to stick around to the end of today's video for a very special announcement. That's all I'm going to say right now. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video for that. Without further ado, let's dive into today's picks. Jumping on over to the outlier screen, guys, our first pick in today's slate comes from the Wizards-Sixers game, 7 p.m. tip-off. We're getting this one out of the way early because the data is not fantastic on it, but I do love the spot here for Tyrese Maxey over 30.5 points. We're getting this one for minus 110 odds over on DraftKings. And like I said, guys, the data is not very good on this prop, but the matchup and the circumstance are really solid. Over his last 10 games, Tyrese Maxey just a 40% hit rate on this over of 30.5 points. He's cashed it in 4 out of 10 games, averaging 26 points per game over his last 10 games. So far in 2024, a 32% hit rate on this over for Maxey. 9 out of 28 games he's cashed it, averaging 25.39 points per game this season. So like I said, guys, the data is not great on this one. Even look at the head-to-head data here for Tyrese Maxey against the Wizards. Now, he hasn't played Washington yet this season, but each of their last 4 meetings dating back to last year, he's failed to cash the over, a 0% hit rate, although he is averaging 25 points per game. So he's doing okay when he plays Washington. All right, now that we got all the bad data out of the way, let's start going on to the positive, the reasons why I like this player prop above all the red that you see here in the data. Now, first of all, Washington overall, a really bad defensive team. Not just really bad, they are the worst defensive team. The fact that they rank lower in terms of points per game than the Chicago Bulls is saying something. The worst scoring defense in general in the NBA, gave up 122.2 points per game this season to opposing teams. Now, if we narrow this down to the backcourt versus shooting guards, where Tyrese Maxey primarily plays shooting guards, they are 30th in the NBA, giving up 31.6 points per game on average to shooting guards. We need about 31 points from them in this game. So as long as they give up their average, we're looking good here. But even versus point guards, which is another position that Tyrese Maxey does play, the Wizards are 18th, giving up 24.3 points per game to opposing point guards. So whatever way you shake it, whether it's point guards, shooting guards, no matter what, at the end of the day, this team defensively struggles versus guards. So that's reason number 1 why I like this prop. We also look at the injury side of things. Washington is missing so many pieces. So many guys, including a lot of game time decisions. Poole, Kuzma, Brogdon. Who knows if they're going to play in this game or not? Even if they do, I'm really not that concerned about it. But one of the other big reasons as to why I love this spot is all the injuries that Philadelphia currently has. And make no mistake about it, guys, the Sixers need this win. They're currently 14-20. So yes, Washington's a bad team, but I don't care what the circumstance is. They're going to need to win this game, so Max is going to play heavy minutes, despite the fact that they're playing a pretty bad team here over in Washington. Look at the injury side of things. Like I said about the Sixers, everybody basically is out for this team. In the most shocking turn of events in NBA history, Joel Embiid is not playing basketball tonight, guys. You heard it here first. Joel Embiid, the notorious guy who plays every single game, is out again tonight for the Sixers. A crazy turn of events. But yeah, as pretty much expected around at this point, every time I look at this screen, it's something else with Embiid, but whether it be a face thing, a foot thing, a rest thing, an illness thing, a knee thing, a back thing, a vagina thing, whatever the case may be. No, that was a little bit too far. Sorry. That was a little bit too far. But Joel Embiid is out again tonight. For the Sixers, Paul George is out, Kyle Lowry out, KJ Martin out, Jared McCain obviously out with the surgery. So a lot of key pieces out for Philadelphia, which means a lot more uses for Maxey, more shots, more touches, more minutes, more everything for Maxey in this spot. With the weak defensive matchup as well, it looks like a really good spot for Tyrese Maxey to go ahead and have a day scoring. So love Maxey here on the over. 30.5 points in this spot. All right, guys, next up, our second pick in today's video. If there are any Sixers fans watching, they're going to cream me for that for that Joel Embiid joke there. Listen, I wouldn't have to make jokes if the guy just played basketball. I mean, it's not he's making enough money. I mean, I understand injuries or whatever, but it's more when he's on like the back-to-backs and he's like, no, I'm not going to play. That's more where I'm like, make fun of him. I'm not going to make fun of some guy for being hurt, but with Embiid, it's always something with this guy. That being said, would I ever say that to his face? Probably not. He's a big guy. He's been eating pretty good. It's the reason why he can't go up and down the court. All right, last Embiid joke, I promise. Sorry to Sixers fans out there. Please don't hate me. He's just an easy target. All right, guys, our second prop in today's slate, we have Bulls, Pacers, 7 p.m. tip-off. We're going Pascal Siakam here, over 28.5 points plus rebounds, which we're getting for minus 105 over on BetMGM. It is available on multiple sportsbooks for varying odds. And kind of like the last prop, the data for this one is not great, but it's all about the matchup here. Over the last 10 games for Siakam, 4 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, a 40% hit rate, averaging 28.2 points plus rebounds per game. Now, you see the difference between him and Maxey is that a lot of his games are very close misses. He's hovering around this line almost every game. So far in 2024, a 38% hit rate on the year for Siakam. 14 out of 37 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 26.95 points plus rebounds per game so far this year. Again, a lot of red, a sea of red here for Siakam's over here. But again, it's all about the matchup here. And I know the head-to-head data, again, like the Maxey spot, 0% hit rate over his last 5 meetings with the Chicago Bulls. Again, I apologize for that. I can't help that the data is going to be a little bit in the red here. He has played the Bulls one time this year, though, back on December 6th, about a month ago, and he had 21 points and 7 rebounds in that game for the Pacers. If we look down below here to the data down below, and I played about 37 minutes in that spot, he had a healthy amount of rebound opportunities. He only had 7 rebounds in that game, but he had 15 rebound chances. That tells me that he has more opportunities to grab more rebounds this time around. And he also took 15 shots in that game. He shot 7 for 15. Again, he hits one more shot and that over cashes. So I do think that although Siakam didn't cash it the last time out, the data goes to show that there was enough of shots, minutes played, rebound opportunities, that I think he has a very good opportunity to cash it again this time. Overall, Chicago, like I just mentioned in the previous pick, the fact that Washington ranks lower than Chicago is kind of crazy because the Bulls have had a defensive nightmare this year. 29th in points allowed, 28th in rebounds allowed versus power forwards. 30th in points, 29th in rebounds. So a really, really good. You literally cannot find a better matchup than this one for Siakam. I like the spot. And you're getting it for minus 105 too, so pretty good value on the prop as well. For injury sides of the Pacers, they don't have Aaron Nesmith. Halliburton's a game time decision. If Halliburton's out, it only helps our stance because it gives Siakam even more volume and even more usage rate. So I do like the over here for Siakam. Over 28.5 points plus rebounds. We've got 2 picks left in today's video, guys. We just hit the 8-minute mark. So if you are still watching at this point in the video, please comment 8 down below. As always, we appreciate those who watch through the entire video. We put a lot of work into these things. For those who sit through it all the analysis, all the bad Joel Embiid jokes and shots at Embiid, we appreciate those who sit through all that and actually listen and watch. So if you are still watching at this point, please comment 8 down below. One more time, make sure to stick around to the end of the video for a special announcement. All right, guys, we're going to cleanse the palate a little bit here and get some good data on these props. Our third pick in today's slate is coming from the Raptors-Knicks game, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. We're going RJ Barrett of the Toronto Raptors over 29.5 points plus rebounds plus assists, which we're getting for minus 135 odds here on DraftKings. A little juice on this one, but not too bad. And like the last 2 props, there's a lot of green, and the data looks to be pretty solid across the board here for RJ Barrett. You see his last 10 game data. 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, an 80% hit rate, averaging 36.9 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over his last 10 games. So really good numbers there. So far in 2024 for RJ Barrett, a 68% hit rate on this over. 19 out of 28 games he's cashed it, averaging 36.46 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. So really good numbers across the board for RJ Barrett. If you go ahead and narrow it down to the last 20 games, 75% hit rate. 15 of his last 20 games, averaging 37.1 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. Whatever way you want to shake this, guys, he's having a really solid year with the Toronto Raptors. And if all that didn't convince you, the head-to-head data is really solid on this prop. He's played the New York Knicks 3 times since being traded to Toronto last year, and all 3 meetings with the Knicks, he's cashed the over, a 100% hit rate, averaging 36.33 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. He's played the Knicks 2 times already this year, back on December 9th and back on December 23rd, and both times he cashed and had some pretty successful performances against this Knicks team. And I can't help but think that RJ Barrett wakes up in the morning and he's extra motivated when he sees that he gets to play the New York Knicks on his schedule, especially when they're playing in Madison Square Garden. RJ Barrett's tenure with the Knicks did not go exactly as planned. Obviously, the Knicks wanted more. I think RJ Barrett probably wanted more. He started to kind of get things going, and then they shipped him off to Toronto. Since getting traded to the Raptors, I feel like Barrett has been playing much, much better. Part of that has to do just with the opportunities. Obviously, the Raptors are not a very good team, so Barrett gets a lot more touches, a lot more opportunities there. But he's really found his spot. I mean, he's been playing really, really well this year, so I can't really, hate on him this year. He's been playing really well with Toronto, but I do think he's extra motivated. That revenge factor of playing the Knicks in Madison Square Garden to stick it to your former team, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have traded me. Now, I don't think the Knicks really miss him all that much because OG Anunoby fumbled that one. Let's try that one more time. OG Anunoby, he's been really good, and the Knicks obviously look really solid right now, a legit championship contender in the Eastern Conference. I don't think they regret the trade all that much, but he has been playing really solid. I think RJ Barrett will not miss the opportunity to stick it to his former team. The Knicks defensively versus shooting guards are actually pretty solid too. Not great, but solid. 19th in points, 18th in assists, 4th in rebounds. So I'd say middle of the road at best. But the fact that he's cashed it both times he's played them already this year and had some really big ones back on December 9th. 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Yes, the Knicks are a solid defensive team, but I think RJ Barrett has their number a little bit here, so I like his over. Minus 135, the books are telling you that, with the extra juice on the play, there's a pretty good chance this one hits. Love this spot for RJ Barrett on this over. And saving the best for last, my fourth and final pick in today's slate is my favorite player prop from today's video. We have Clippers Nuggets 9 p.m. tip-off. We're going Ivica Zubac of the LA Clippers over 29.5 points plus rebounds plus assists, which we're getting for minus 110 odds on BetMGM. It is available on multiple sports books for varying odds. And I love this spot for Zubac here. He's cashed the over in 8 of his last 10 games, an 80% hit rate, averaging 32.8 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over his last 10 games. So far in 2024, a 64% hit rate on the over for Zubac. 23 out of 36 games he's cashed the over, averaging 30.25 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. He's having a pretty solid year across the board, but if you go ahead and narrow it down to the last 10, 15 games or so, he's really been on a solid run here with the Clippers. And on top of all that, we have some solid head-to-head data as well. 4 of his last 7 meetings with the Denver Nuggets taking place to last season. Taking us back to last season, excuse me, guys. It is early in the morning. This is like my 3rd video this morning, so apologies for some of the word fumblings here. 4 of his last 7 games dating back to last season, he's cashed the over, a 57% hit rate, averaging 29.14 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over their last 7 meetings with the Denver Nuggets. So the last 10 data is pretty solid. The overall data is pretty solid. The head-to-head data is pretty solid. Across the board, a lot of green and a lot of solid data on this Zubac prop. Really good numbers here for him. Versus centers this year, the Denver Nuggets, 22nd in points allowed, 30th in rebounds, and 24th in assists. It's a pretty good matchup for centers when they play Denver, specifically Zubac. He's had some really big games when playing the Nuggets. Again, if we narrow it down just to this year, 2 out of the 3 times he's played Denver already this season, he's cashed the over. The one time he missed it on December 1st, he had a pretty low game there, just 6 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. But he had a massive game back on October 26th. We had 24 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists. And their last time out, about a little over a month ago, or less than a month ago, I should say, on December 13th, he had 13 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists. A narrow cash, but a cash nonetheless. Now, I don't know if this will help him too much here because, honestly, the Denver Nuggets, even with Jokic playing, have not ranked very highly in terms of defensive numbers against centers. But if we look at the injuries report here for Denver, Jokic, who obviously we had him last night, he did not play. At the time of recording, he's reported out for tonight as well with an illness. So without Jokic, I can't help but think it might even be a better spot here for Zubac. And I'm going to put a filter here to show the last time that he played Denver without Nikola Jokic playing. We put that filter in there. Again, Outlier, fantastic tool for doing stuff like that. His last time that he played Denver without Jokic was November 27th of last year. He had a pretty big game, 23 points, 14 rebounds, and 1 assist against the Nuggets without Nikola Jokic in that spot. So I can't help but think that even with Jokic being out, I think it's a really good spot for Zubac. He's done a really great run this year. I think the Jokic injury could only help his case here. For minus 110 odds too on BetMGM or whatever you're getting it at worst minus 120. I think it's really solid value on this prop for Zubac. We also have the insights provided by Outlier. Ivica Zubac has exceeded 29.5 points, rebounds, assists in 10 of his last 12 games on the road, averaging 32 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over his last 12 road games. So really good numbers there for Jokic. I really love this spot for him. My favorite prop of today's slate by far. So guys, that is it for me today. That is all 4 picks in today's NBA player prop video. And as I said earlier in the video, I told you guys to stick around to the end of today's video for a special announcement. And here it is. If you watched on the second channel, the More Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel yesterday, Ev posted a video updating what's going on with that channel. If you guys are completely in the dark about what the second channel even is, what I'm talking about, when we hit 100,000 subscribers, probably about a month or two ago, unfortunately we couldn't use our YouTube channel. I'm not going to go into all of that stuff. It's already been talked about enough between myself, Ev, and Trey on our videos. But short story, we hit 100,000 subscribers. We weren't able to use our YouTube channel. We ended up creating a second YouTube channel for the meantime so we could keep posting content, the More Guy Boston Sports channel. We quickly gained a bunch of subscribers. We got like up to just shy of 20,000. We're over 19,000 subscribers at the time of recording. And then once we got access to the main channel, the one you're watching this video on now, we moved all of our content back over here. So we've kind of been leaving the second channel dormant for over a month now. And we've been brainstorming some ideas between myself, Ev, and Trey of what to do with that channel. We don't want it to just die off because we worked hard to build that one up as well. It's a great avenue for some more content. We were brainstorming some ideas. And, Ev, announced yesterday that he's going to be posting some special content over there. And after talking with Ev and brainstorming a little bit, I am here to announce that I am releasing a brand new podcast over on the Second Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel that's focusing on the NBA. So to make it very simple for you guys, my new NBA podcast, which is titled Yet Another NBA Podcast, officially launches over on the Second Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel. Starting Monday, January 20th, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, will be the official debut of Gosh, I am just jumbled this morning. Yet Another NBA Podcast with myself, Tasos Kilimos, will debut on the Second Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel, More Guy Boston Sports, on Monday, January 20th. The title kind of says it all. It's Yet Another NBA Podcast. It's a chance for me to go ahead and talk NBA, and not just from a sports betting perspective, also just talk about, the top news, storylines, top performances, my opinions on players, teams, whatever. I am a basketball fan first. As much as I love doing the sports betting stuff and giving the picks, I am a basketball fan first, and I love talking about basketball. But in these sports picks videos, you just can't really talk about it too much because obviously you guys are here for the picks. You're not here for analysis on the teams or a breakdown of trade scenarios and power rankings and stuff like that. You're here for picks, so we obviously don't linger too much on some of these things, but obviously I do have opinions, I do have things to say, and I love talking about basketball, love talking about the NBA. So yeah, make sure to tune in for that. I'll talk about more and give more details over the next couple weeks as we lead into the debut. It's going to be on Mondays and Fridays. The first episode debuting on Monday, January 20th, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And yeah, we're going to be talking all kinds of NBA stuff, breaking news, top stories, again, top performances, disappointing teams, hot takes, whatever the case may be. We're talking all basketball all day. So make sure to go ahead and follow the second YouTube channel at More Guy Boston Sports. Between that and all the stuff that Ev's going to be posting soon, we're going to have a lot of great content coming out on that channel as well. Basically making it so that this main channel that you're watching this video on is basically just for picks only, which is the way it probably should be. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much for always watching. My goodness, I need a coffee so badly. Thank you very much, guys, as always, for watching one more time. Please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Apologies one more time. I know the fumbling of the words has been crazy today. This is my third video of the day already. It's only like 9 a.m. I already did my Notre Dame Penn State video, which is coming out later today. I did the Texas Ohio State video, which comes out tomorrow. I did this video. I'm prepping for the podcast in a couple weeks. We got H2H coming out soon. A lot of stuff going on. So I do apologize for that, but hope you guys still enjoyed the video, regardless of me screwing up my words and getting tongue twisted about 72 times in this video. I'll be back tomorrow with another NBA player prop video, but until then, I hope you're all winners. Hope you're all winners. We'll see you back here tomorrow, guys.